God does tell us where 2 or more people are gathered, he's there. And obviously in a really big setting, I think that means that he's going to be really present, right? He's being glorified, and he likes to be where his people are. I think that, you know when you're experiencing God's presence in like your highest high moments and your lowest low moments. Like, I thought about our wedding and the birth of our children. Like, you just feel God's presence there. You can just feel something holy about those moments. And then, it made me really emotional to talk about in your lowest lows. And we've experienced some of those things in the last year and a half in our family. And I think you know that God is always there with you, but when you have good community at your church, and you're those people, really the community is kind of God's way of showing you his presence, and how people show up for you, and they pray for you, and they bring meals to your house, and they do all of that. I think that you can really feel the presence of God through the hands and feet of other people. We have the grace of Christ, right? Something that we completely did not do anything to earn or certainly deserve, but we've been given it freely. And when we decide to accept that grace and let it cover our lives, then we're able to accept it for ourselves, right? Kind of forgive ourselves and be able to give ourselves grace when we mess up, which is for me probably every day. And then we're able to extend that grace to other people as well. And you never know what somebody is walking through in their personal life, whether it be their best day or their worst day or just an average Tuesday. But to be able to extend grace to other people, and to be able to kind of, in a utopian type situation, live in that, where everybody, if you realize that you're covered in grace, and because of that grace that you've received, you're able to give it to other people. What a cool place. What a cool world would we live in. That's probably what heaven will be like. But being able to know that you've received it makes you able to give it, right? Because that's something supernatural. You wouldn't be able to do that by yourself. And I think that definitely shows communion with God. In those really great moments, or sometimes in those really terrible moments, you feel God's presence, you can feel God's grace, but then on just going about your business and your everyday life, encounters that you have with people, just those still quiet moments, where you have time to offer up a prayer or anything, that is when you might look back and realize God's presence in your life. At the end of the day, if you're sitting kind of down talking about what happened in your day, you can be like, oh, well, yeah, obviously that was God there, and you might not have realized it in the moment. Probably the hardest person to give grace to sometimes is yourself, right? We have a lot higher expectations. Most people hold themselves to higher expectations than they would for anybody else. I know it's true. We talk about that a lot with my mom friends, and when you talk about I would never expect somebody else to be able to get every single thing on the list done and exercise and keep their house perfect and do this and this and this, and yet we expect it of ourselves. And to be able to stop and give yourself a little bit of grace and say I'm not perfect. I was not designed to be perfect. God is perfect, and we take care of our relationship with Christ, our relationship with our family, and then kind of everything else that is important will fall into place.